Hi everybody, welcome to Raising Simple. So you guys, listen, I wanted to do a short video to appreciate the setup of Spur Pavilion. I hadn't been to Spur Pavilion in a few years because of course for a few years I was living in Pietermaritzburg with my family and we were spending the weekends there, even though it was our closest mall for years and years and years when we lived in Chesterville. But and then in the past few years, it wasn't because we were not living there. Now that we are back in Durban, we don't live in Chesterville, but we are closer to Pavilion. And since we are used to it, we always just end up choosing to go there when we need to go to the mall. So, you guys, listen, I want to explain what my issue has been previously with other space that I've been to when I go with Siposetu. A lot of the times when you come in right at the door, sometimes there's like one step. You have to go down one step to get in the restaurant. Sometimes it's two steps. If they do have a wheelchair ramp thing, it will be on the side. So it will be like other people walk in just straight when you come at the door, and then the wheelchair thing will be on the side. Okay, or sometimes you will have to get in with the wheelchair in that one step, and a lot of the wheelchairs can do the adjustment, but obviously it's difficult. It requires like manpower to do it. Okay, then another challenge would be the tables would be too close to each other, too close that it's difficult to get the wheelchair to certain. If I choose the table at the back, for an example, it's difficult for me to get there with the wheelchair because there isn't enough spaces, and then when you're passing, people have to move their chairs and all of that, and then you will end up having to choose a table that you wouldn't really choose otherwise. Okay, but this spay, you guys, I don't know why they've adjusted because it wasn't the first time that I was at that spay, even though I don't remember. I think I've been there with Siposis. It was different. It was a different experience. I think they've done something there. This is what I never understand about places, you guys. And I guess if you don't really use a wheelchair, or you don't have somebody in your life that uses a wheelchair, you don't really think about it. I don't understand the thing of making two entrance points for people, and then you have steps, and then you have a ramp on the side. If you can do the ramp thing where a wheelchair can just go, it's not like where the wheelchair can enter. I can't enter just walking. So why do two things? Why have the part where the wheelchair can go in and then have another step? Why do we need step? Like there are areas where you're like, okay, to get from first floor to second floor, I need steps. I understand that. But there are areas where you're like, I don't need a step here. If you can do a sliding thing like this, and then a wheelchair can, and then the person can also, it's not like I can't walk there now and get on and get inside spare because there isn't steps. I can't stand there and say, where are the steps now? So I don't understand the thing of insisting on the two different things. Oh yes, if you want to enter with the wheelchair, go around there and just make it here, because wherever a wheelchair can slide in, a human being can also walk there. Like, why waste? Anyway, I never understand it, you guys. I'm sure people are thinking it's accommodative, it's inclusive, and it's not inclusive because it's different. It's like on the side when it's not necessary, just make one thing where people can walk and the wheelchair can walk in. Okay. So in this wheelchair, they actually have that. In this, not in this wheelchair, in this pair, they actually have that. When you get in, it's a sliding thing, it's a ramp thing. When you walk in, people are walking in and the wheelchairs are walking in. On top of that, you guys, I don't know if I kind of feel like they got somebody to actually design a place in such a way that they've measured the spaces between the tables in such a way that the wheelchair could get around the tables. Okay, not only that, the wheelchair could we could wheel the wheelchair in between the tables, but then when we sat down and supposed to sit on her chair, which is what we prefer for her to just to keep her on her chair, people could still pass behind her. So we didn't have a struggle where somebody wants to pass. Now we have to move the chair. Because on the edge of the table there was her chair and she was sitting, and behind her there was still enough space. And I was like, what have they done to this place? It's magical. Magic. Okay. On top of that, you guys, nobody in the staff asked me if they can bring a baby chair, because that has happened in other spares where when I'm coming in, they're like, is she going to sit on her chair? Should we bring her the baby chair? And I'm like, does she look like a baby? Guys, you know how small a baby chair is? A 2-year-old cannot get in those baby chairs from space. So I never understand, like, what do you mean? Like, a 13-year-old is going to get on, even if she looks like a 10-year-old. Okay, let's just say that she's tiny, she looks like a 10-year-old. What do you mean you need to bring a baby chair? Okay, another point is nobody asked me if I was going to leave the wheelchair by the door, because that has happened to me where I am at Spur or any other rest. They're like, you can leave the wheelchair here and then uyohlala naye or whatever will bring the baby. Nobody asked me that, you know. Nobody did, you guys. It's a perfect. I'm telling you guys. I know it's not a lot of people that have children with wheelchair, but if it happens that you do go to that space, it's perfect. Okay, there's always things, you guys, to work on. But that place, I feel like they've worked on most things. I don't know if whoever renovated or changed that place had people with like users of wheelchairs in mind, but and it's so and it worked out, or it just they were doing something else and it just so worked out to be perfect the way that it is for people that are using wheelchairs. And I think that, you guys, the challenge is still, of course, the fact that there's always a play area when it comes to space. You know, it's just something that I don't even look at because, of course, uh, like I just feel like I don't even want to stress about it because, of course, there's that thing of is she going to be accommodated there? So I think I'll give them a pass there to be like, okay, their playrooms still look exactly the same as they looked before. I don't even know if I took a support there, she would be accommodated, something that I've chosen not to even deal with. But you guys, listen, Spur Pavilion, like the best. Okay, for a mommy of a child that uses a wheelchair, it was like the best. Leave the place as it is. As it is. Don't put more tables on there. It's perfect, you guys. I don't know who measured the spaces between the table. That person knows what they're doing. Whatever it is, they know what they're doing because the wheelchair was passing perfectly, even though people were sitting, and then we sat down and people were able to pass behind to Pusetsu. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Loved it. I love to go to a place where I feel like, yes, okay, the wheelchair can move around with no troubles. Anyway, that's all that I wanted to say, you guys. Pavilion, please see them. Pavilion Spray. Perfect. The service was even, I can't even talk about it. So we had a good time, you guys. We had a good birthday summer. Anyway, you guys, I hope you have a good night. Bye.